Hello Karen, this is George, and I'm here to show you my screencast for the RIA final project. And as you can see here, this is basically the final user interface of my project. I call it the Sport Event Manager. So by using this web application, users will be able to authenticate their Google Calendar account first, and then all their events and arrangements will be displayed in the iframe code here. So, and they not only can check their prearranged calendar events, but also can be able to create, update, and delete the event. So let me demonstrate the app for you first. First of all, if you can see, this part of the things is directly from the Google site. They call it iframe. And then for the users here, after they logged into my web application with their Google account, they can first of all select the sports event type from this drop-down list. I give them a few options here. Say they want add a sport event called the soccer. So, and after that they have to select the start date and end date of the event. Let's say start at 8th of May and end with 11th, this Friday, and click to create sports events. That will be able to create a new sports event to their calendar. So as you can see, the pop-up window says that the sports event soccer has successfully added to your calendar. So if they click OK here, the new event called soccer from the 8th of the May to 11th of the May has been successfully added to the Google Calendar. And another thing is the sport event title and sport event URL table here also updated. The URL here will be used to rename the sports event name and delete the sport event. So let's say we want to rename this sports event to swimming. So let's say swimming and click to rename sports event. Wait a second, sports event title updated successfully. So the event title here has been successfully updated to swimming, and sport event title in the table listed here also updated. So let's say now I want to delete this event. The same URL can be copied from the table here and click delete sport event. The sport event delete success. So after that, there's no more event within the Google Calendar here. So this is basically my major functionalities for the application. Let's go back to the code side. First of all, for the development purpose, I have to make my calendar public from the Google account. This can be very easily done by ticking the boxes. Like, let me show you. From the calendar settings, there's a share this calendar. You have to take these boxes to make your calendar public, so that the web application can access to your calendar for the plans for the sports events. And okay, let's go back to the code. First of all, as the first step of the development, I want to embed the calendar by using a public URL Google provided in an iframe, which I showed you before, which is a very straightforward calendar look. So then in order to let the user interact with the calendar, some UI controls must be set up. So first of all, a vertical panel for the creating a new event was set up within the budget called new event. And this panel includes a drop-down list for selecting the event title, as I showed you there. Here's the code for the drop-down list. Some of the items has been added in hard-coded in. And another thing included in this panel is two date pickers to let users select the start and end date, and ending up with a button to create the event. And as you can see, instead of create each UI element at the beginning of the code, we can actually initialize every new UI component within the widget. That will be save some space of the coding and make it more efficient. So, and for example, for the button here, we do not have to create a new click handler class, especially for that, like we did in our tutorial. Instead, we can write the click handler right after the button has been created. Here, for example, new event panel and new button called the create sport event will be included in a new click handler. This handler will be very straightforward to describe the click event after that. So let's look at the clicker first. The clicker is for the button for creating new event. So the handler will get input from the title, the event title, start date, and the end date. So then the create new event method will be called with these parameters. Let's go to the deeper to see this create new event methods down here. Actually, all this, by the way, all this like the create new event methods and update the event name methods and delete event methods. I put this all from methods into a new class called the util, so that the application can be accessed. The code can be more easily accessed. So, and then as I said, the create new event method will be called with the parameters like title, start, and end date. Then it uses an instance of calendar service wrapper for the calendar. So, like, and the create new event method can be able to use this title, start date, and end date to insert the new entry, new sport event into the calendar. So it will call the new method I call as store new event. Within this method, the new title, new start date, and new end date will be directly added to the Google Calendar and updated asynchronously with the web application, both web application and the Google services. So in the end, the iframe and the table below will be refreshed by calling the method I define an update calendar view, which is very bottom of the page. Within this method is used to refresh a calendar view, which is that iframe and the table below at once. That will be make the user interface more readable when user update or create their new event. Okay, and next is another vertical panel for the update and delete event. I called it the widget amend event. So let's take a look at the update button first. The update button, which will be allow users to change the event title if the name is not listed in drop-down box, or I think that user think that it's not appropriate. So in order to change the title of the event from the application, first the event URL must needed to identify to kind of locate the event. So how can I get a URL? First of all entries from the calendar will be retrieved using the get all element method I defined very below of that. If you look at it here, all the entries will be get using this method, and then the table down below the iframe will be added to the bottom of the page to retain all this entries as well as its URL. So as you can see that the for loop within the show entries method is used to populate the entries from the Google site to my web application using some get titles, get edit link, or the method was built into the Google GWT package. So let's back to the change button clicker there. Okay, and by passing the event URL and the new title name, the method will get the event according to this URL. So let's see the method more detailed. This change title method will be, first of all, once the event has been got from the calendar using its URL, the title will be replaced with a new one. Let's see here. If the URL which passed into here is successfully located within the Google Calendar, then the specific title will be set to a new one, which also passed in with the variable called new title. And in the same way, the delete button will be enable user to delete the event they selected. Okay, let's go back to the clicker for the first time. The clicker also, all the delete function needs is the URL of the specific event so that the application can be located the event in their Google account. So by passing by the event URL into the delete event method, the method will be also, first of all, locate the events in their Google account first, and then the event will be, the entry and the event will be deleted by calling this method here. And of course, if the deletion and updation is not a success, the pop-up window will be set fail to access your calendar service or fail to access your calendar service. Both other window will be built into my code here. So, and after all these functionalities provided will only be functional after user successfully logged in with their Google account. So before enabled and check if user has logged in, the GData calendar API must get from your Google account. The API can be get on the Google API console within your account like this here. So as you can see, the API key is here, and you can copy this API key to your application, so at the very top of the application, so that the GData can be accessed by the application. And in module load methods, we normally used to add all the UI elements to the page. Instead of doing that, I extract that part to a new method called load. This load method normally is used to add all the UI elements to the main panel, and also sort of the vertical panel was set up to add into the root panel there. And what I want to say here is, within the module load method, the code will be checked if a runnable API is enabled for the application, like as you can see here. If the runnable is created, well, it's okay. It will be the application, the code will be called the load method to add all the UI elements to the page. If not, the runnable will be created before the load, before loading the UI components here. If you can see, the new runnable will be created there. And one last thing I will mention for my code is that the GData API uses OAuth authentication to make the calendar available to the developer and to the user. So that's why the do OAuth login method is built into my code here, to make sure the user has been logged in and authenticate to the calendar before they can use the functionalities here. Also, this method is built, will be called very firstly after within the load method, which is used for adding UI elements to the page. So basically, that's it for my screencast for the RIA project. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Thanks a million.